Stop everything. The Philadelphia Eagles and Dallas Cowboys rivalry just got shaken to its core. One Cowboy superstar is likely out. The Eagles just got a huge piece of their offensive line back, and practice updates are already changing the story of this game. This week isn't just football, it's war, and both teams are already showing their cards. It's finally here, Eagles versus Cowboys week. The air feels different, the stakes are sky high, and every bit of news hits like a punch to the gut. And already, the storylines are wild. One Dallas superstar might not even take the field. Meanwhile, Philadelphia just got a shocking boost of good news at practice that could flip this entire matchup. For the Eagles, it starts in the trenches. Landon Dickerson, yes, the heart of the offensive line, the guy who just had knee surgery 3 weeks ago, was back on the field Sunday. Not just jogging, not just testing it out. Fully suited, full participant. No limitations. Reporters were stunned, his teammates couldn't believe it. Think about that. 3 weeks after surgery, this man is not only moving around, but also running with the first team field goal unit. That's something you don't do if there's even the slightest risk. It's almost superhuman. His teammates even joked he's got Wolverine healing powers, like nothing can keep him down. If Dickerson really starts on Thursday night, it's massive. The Cowboys' pass rush is already going to be weaker without Micah Parsons. And now Philly is getting stronger right where it matters most, protecting Jalen Hurts and controlling the line of scrimmage. This is the kind of news that can swing a rivalry game before the ball is even snapped. And make no mistake, both teams know what's at stake. The Eagles are trying to keep their cards close, hiding every little detail, but practice already gave us a sneak peek. Dallas looks shaken. Philadelphia looks reloaded. Thursday night is starting to feel like destiny. Now I want to hear from you. With Micah Parsons likely out and Landon Dickerson back, how confident are you in the Eagles heading into Thursday? Drop your prediction in the comments below. Nick Sirianni could barely hide his smile when talking about Landon Dickerson. You could hear the excitement in his voice. He knows how much it means to get a player like that back on the field. Dickerson isn't just a good lineman. He's been one of the Eagles' most reliable anchors for 4 straight years. When he's healthy, the entire offense runs smoother. That's why his return this week feels massive. But here's where the roster moves get interesting. On Sunday, Philadelphia re-signed Kenyon Green to the active roster. Some fans immediately panicked. Was this a hint that Dickerson wasn't going to play? Maybe the Eagles were preparing for bad news? But if you look closer, it feels more like Howie Roseman protecting his guy. Moving Green back to the practice squad would have made him vulnerable to being poached by another team. By keeping him on the active 53, Howie locks in depth while making sure no one else steals a promising young lineman. Smart insurance, nothing more. And that was just one of Howie's weekend moves. Center Willie Lamon was placed on injured reserve as expected. In response, Philly made a flurry of additions to the practice squad, signing Audra Este and cornerback Ambry Thomas. At the same time, Terrace Marshall and Eli Ricks were released, though Marshall was quickly brought back Sunday morning. Classic Howie, shuffle the deck, keep the depth chart strong, and don't let anyone get too comfortable. The most intriguing addition? Cornerback Ambry Thomas. He's no rookie project. He's got real starting experience, 11 starts in 42 games since San Francisco drafted him 3 years ago. Now, his coverage numbers haven't exactly been pretty. Quarterbacks have gone after him and put up high passer ratings, though he has improved slowly each season. The real setback came last year when he fractured his forearm. That injury bounced him from the Colts to the Vikings, then finally into free agency. Now he lands in Philly as a depth piece. Ideally, the Eagles won't need him at all. If he sees the field, it means the starters ahead of him are struggling or hurt. Still, having extra insurance at cornerback never hurts, especially in the NFC East where wide receivers can take over a game in a heartbeat. Speaking of corners, there was another update that fans noticed at practice. Yakorian Bennett finally got a real jersey number, He's now wearing number 23, the number Eli Ricks had before being cut. But don't get fooled by the depth chart. The Eagles' PR staff listed Bennett as a co-starter alongside Adoree Jackson, but reporters at practice told a different story. Jackson has been running with the first-team defense all week, and Sirianni's praise for him before practice sounded like confirmation. Unless something changes, it looks like Adoree Jackson has officially won the starting job over Bennett. Sirianni described Jackson as always in the hip pocket of receivers, competing on every rep, and showing a natural ability to play the football, skills he picked up as a punt returner and carried into his cornerback play. That competitiveness is exactly what Philly's secondary needs. Bennett may have potential, but right now, Jackson's consistency and experience give him the edge. Let me ask you, do you think Howie Roseman is making the right move stacking up this roster with depth, or should Philly be more aggressive in grabbing proven talent? Drop your take in the comments. When you talk about defensive backs in Philly, toughness is the first word that comes to mind. This isn't just about speed or coverage, it's about sticking your face in the fight, not shying away from contact, and shadowing receivers so closely that the quarterback barely has a window to throw. That's what Nick Sirianni sees in his corners. And against Dallas, with their dangerous wide receivers and tight ends, that edge is going to matter more than ever. Now, let's shift to the depth chart, because it revealed some very interesting clues. On paper, it listed the starting linebackers as Jod Campbell and Jeremiah Charter Jr., while the safeties were shown as Sidney Brown and Drew Makuba. But don't be fooled, Sirianni made it clear that the outside world doesn't have the full picture yet. He straight up said the team already knows who's starting Thursday night. They just aren't ready to tell anyone else. That secrecy? That's classic Eagles. They want Dallas guessing right up until kickoff. But here's the big news. Drew Makuba was fully suited at Sunday's practice. No limitations. He looked ready to roll. This is huge because just a week ago, there were real concerns about whether he'd be able to play. Now, he's expected to be available against the Cowboys, though there's no guarantee he'll start. That alone raises questions. If Makuba's healthy, why hold him back? Is this strategy, or are the coaches simply trying to ease him in? Either way, the Eagles' defense is quietly stacking weapons. Makuba healthy means added flexibility. Sidney Brown's intensity and playmaking give the unit extra fire. And Campbell and Charter Jr. at linebacker bring the physicality that Dallas's offense is going to test early. This is where the chess match begins. Dallas doesn't know which safety pairings they'll see, which linebacker combinations will line up, or how aggressive Philly's corners will play. The Eagles know. Dallas doesn't, and that advantage could be the hidden key to Thursday night. Let me throw this to you. If you're the Eagles, do you start Drew Makuba right away now that he's healthy, or save him for later in the game? Drop your opinion in the comments, because this decision could change everything. The safety battle in Philly is heating up, and even the reporters can't agree. Some say Sidney Brown is locked in as the starter. Others argue Drew Makuba has earned that spot. Here's what feels most likely. Makuba will be active Thursday night, but when the defense lines up for the very first snap, it'll probably be Sidney Brown at safety. Brown's aggressive style, his toughness, and his ability to make plays at the catch point just feel like what Philly needs right out of the gate. Makuba can rotate in, but Brown is the tone setter. Meanwhile, the Eagles got another big sigh of relief on offense. AJ. Brown suited up again on both Sunday and Monday. When reporters asked him if he was playing Thursday night, his answer was as blunt as it gets. Hell yeah. That's exactly what fans wanted to hear. There's no replacing a star like AJ, and knowing he's ready for Dallas is a massive boost. Quarterback depth also came into focus. Tanner McKee was at practice, but he still isn't throwing. That means Sam Howell is locked in as QB2 for now. If anything happens to Jalen Hurts, it'll be Howell stepping in. It's not ideal, but at least the Eagles are preparing for it. And speaking of preparation, this one's going to fire up fans. Philly actually pumped artificial crowd noise into practice this week, not just for the defense, but even while the offense was working. Why? Because they know how insane the atmosphere is going to be at Lincoln Financial Field on banner night. They expect it to be so loud that even the Eagles' offense might struggle to hear itself. Imagine that. The coaches are literally preparing their players to run plays in chaos because they know Eagles fans are going to blow the roof off the stadium. That's Philadelphia. That's home field advantage. But of course, the biggest storyline of the week still looms large. Micah Parsons is gone. Dallas traded away their biggest weapon, and everyone wanted to know what the Eagles thought about it. Reporters pressed the players. How much does losing Micah change the matchup? The Eagles' response was steady and clear. They respect the Cowboys, with or without Parsons. This isn't just about one player. Dallas is still dangerous. They've got Kenny Clark, they've got a defensive line with depth, and they've got coaches ready to scheme up new looks. But make no mistake, losing Parsons changes everything. His absence takes away the Cowboys' biggest game wrecker, the guy who could flip a drive in one play. The Eagles won't say it out loud, but you can feel it in the air. This matchup just tilted in Philadelphia's favor. I want to know what you think. With A.J. Brown back and Micah Parsons gone, do the Eagles now have a clear edge on Thursday night? Or are the Cowboys still just as dangerous? Drop your take in the comments. This is the debate of the week. When Micah Parsons was traded, every Eagle said the right things. Dallas still has a good defense. We're not taking them lightly. That's what you expect to hear. But if you really want to know how the players feel, just listen to Jordan Mailata. The big man couldn't even hide his relief. He joked about it, he laughed about it, but you could hear the truth in his voice. For the last 4 or 5 years, every time the Eagles lined up against Dallas, the game plan started with one question. How do we survive Micah Parsons? He was a game wrecker, the guy you had to design protections around. And now? He's gone. Mailata admitted it straight up. It's a sigh of relief. But don't think the Eagles' offensive line is underestimating Dallas. Their attention has already shifted to the new man in the middle, Kenny Clark. He came over in the Parsons trade, and while he's not in his prime anymore, he's still dangerous. Clark is a big, powerful presence inside, and if he gets rolling, he can wreck drives. The thing is, Philly knows how to deal with him. The last time Clark faced this offensive line, back in the NFC wildcard when he was with Green Bay, it was ugly for him. The Eagles bullied him, especially in the run game. His performance was graded as one of the worst on the Packers' defense that night, with an abysmal 39.4 puff grade. That memory hasn't faded, and you better believe the Eagles' linemen haven't forgotten it either. And just when you thought Dallas couldn't take another hit, here comes the bombshell. Trevon Diggs is out for Thursday night. Reporters say he should be back by week 4, but he won't be ready in time for Philly. That's massive. Without Diggs, the Cowboys' secondary is exposed, and all eyes fall on Darren Bland. Now, Jerry Jones just gave Bland a 4-year, $90 million extension, classic Jerry, paying big even when the numbers don't back it up. Bland had 0 interceptions last season after his record-setting 6 pick-sixes in 2023. And worse? He's been cooked by Devonta Smith for years. Smitty has owned him, route after route, game after game. So think about it. No Parsons up front, no Diggs in the secondary. That means Jalen Hurts and Devonta Smith could feast on Thursday night. Philly has a real chance to dominate both the trenches and the passing game. I want to hear from you. With Parsons and Diggs gone, do the Cowboys still have any shot of slowing down this Eagles offense? Or is this about to get ugly fast? Drop your prediction in the comments. The Dallas Cowboys might be throwing money around, but in Philly, it's all about something money can't buy: leadership. The Eagles officially announced their captains for 2025, and the list is stacked with names that feel like the heartbeat of this team. Jalen Hurts, A.J. Brown, Saquon Barkley, Jordan Mailata, Jake Elliott, All the stars you'd expect. But one name stood out above the rest. Reed Blankenship. This is more than just a patch on the chest. For Reed, who's entering the final year of his deal, this is validation. A statement from the locker room saying, "You're one of us. You're our leader." Think about it, an undrafted guy who had to claw his way into this roster is now wearing the C for the defending Super Bowl champions. That's the kind of story that defines Philadelphia football. And word on the street? The front office is already working on locking him up long term. The timing couldn't be better. Reed admitted the moment got to him. He found out during practice when Sirianni pulled him aside, and the emotions just poured out. "It's a dream come true," he said. "This isn't just a patch. It's about trust. My teammates believe in me. That's everything." You could feel how much it meant to him. And you could see how much it meant to the team. Because Blankenship doesn't just play safety, he sets a tone. And speaking of tone, Nick Sirianni is making sure this team starts the year with the right one. His 2025 message? Contribution over credit. Do your job. Forget the spotlight. Nobody cares who gets the stats, just get the win. Jalen Hurts echoed it perfectly in his press conference. It doesn't matter how it gets done. It just matters that we do it together. That's the kind of mentality that built this dynasty, and it's the only way they'll keep it going. For the first time in years, there's no talk of drama between Sirianni and Hurts. No whispers about riffs or chemistry issues. This is QB1 and his head coach completely in sync, ready to lead the charge into another season. And with captains like Reed Blankenship rising alongside the stars, the Eagles' culture has never been stronger. Philadelphia isn't just chasing wins anymore, they're chasing legacy. Funny how one Lombardi trophy can shut everybody up, isn't it? For years the media tried to stir up drama in Philly, Hurts versus Sirianni, locker room riffs, all that noise. But now? Silence. Winning fixes everything. And nothing would make a louder statement than opening the season with a clean, dominant win over Dallas. The stage is set. Just 3 days from now, the lights will come on, the link will roar, and the Eagles' title defense will officially begin. This isn't just another Week 1 game. This is a chance to remind the entire NFL that the Birds are still the standard. The work doesn't stop this week, either. Practices on Sunday, Monday, Tuesday. A hard reset on Wednesday. And then, Thursday night, Eagles, Cowboys. Rivalry renewed. Every storyline, every injury update, every roster decision leads to this.